Dysfunctional Vet. I'm going to keep the same motif that I had for the first one because this is a continuation of Bill Ray telling his stories. I forget what point this was, but I went over to the main construction on these apartments and I told one of the carpenters, and this guy was big. He was like Dan Blocker big. I told him that I was unable to uh, get another pallet of, not a pallet, but a banded deal of the 2x12s because they had just found a kid that was dead underneath some lumber that had shifted during the afternoon. This kid had been reported missing the day before, and they just found him underneath this lumber. Apparently, he was screwing with it and it fell and crushed him. Well, anyway, Dan had lifted me up to that first floor, and we were talking. He says, "Hey, listen, we've been baiting Bill Ray, and he ought to have a real good story." So he says, "Make sure you sit pretty close today." So at lunchtime, yeah, they had baited him all right. Anyway, Bill Ray starts telling this story. He says, "Well, I was working and we were getting real close to being done with this pit, and we were down pretty deep, and that clay was real hard. So, well, the engineers, they went to using C4 to blow out the hard parts of the clay that they couldn't dig out with that mechanized backhoe. I had been sent up the ladder to get more det cord so they could blow more of that clay out of that hole. And I was about halfway up the ladder when they set that C4 off, and that blast grabbed me and lifted me up to the top of the ladder just like I was on an elevator, and I just walked away just as graceful as could be. So after that, whenever they were about to blast that C4, I always made sure I was about halfway up on that ladder because it sure made it look like I was flying, like I was Superman." I can't really finish the rest of this story without laughing too hard because it goes downhill from there. So I'm going to do an honorable mention war story from much later in life, which comes from a high school reunion. And this was told to me by a guy that I was working with long time thereafter. And I hope you enjoy this next one because it has got to be one of the best stories of all time. And like I said, this is from a high school reunion. So with that said, Dysfunctional Vet out. I hope you'll stay tuned to more of these war stories. Appreciate you listening. Please subscribe and share. Thank you.